Clear.
We live in an era of loud movies. Everything is an explosion, a multiverse, or a cameo. But the films that actually stick with you? The ones that burrow into your brain and keep you awake at night? They're usually the quiet ones.
Do you know what you're doing? Do you know whose money you're jacking?
I'm talking about thrillers that don't rely on jump scares, but on pressure. The kind of movies where a single conversation in a diner feels more dangerous than a car chase.
I'm crazy!
Today, we are digging up 10 thrillers that time has started to bury. These aren't obscure arthouse experiments, these are star-studded, brilliantly directed films that were either overshadowed at the box office or simply came out before they could find their cult audience. Before we dive in, do me a favor, click that like button, it helps the channel more than you know, and hit subscribe so you don't miss the next list. Let's jump in.
Clear.
Number 10, Hell or High Water, 2016. We're starting with a film that feels less like a movie and more like a ballad. Hell or High Water. On paper, it's a simple heist flick. Two brothers, played by Chris Pine and Ben Foster, start robbing branches of the bank that is threatening to foreclose on their family ranch. It sounds like a standard Robin Hood setup. But in the hands of writer Taylor Sheridan, it becomes a modern American tragedy. What makes this shockingly good nearly a decade later is how it treats its characters. Usually, in bank robber movies, the criminals are cool and the cops are faceless obstacles. Here, the cop is Jeff Bridges, playing a Texas Ranger on the verge of retirement who seemingly has nothing left but the hunt. The tension here isn't about whether they'll get caught, it's about when the violence will finally explode. The film captures a very specific anxiety, the feeling of being left behind by the economy, by society, and by time itself. Chris Pine gives arguably the best performance of his career. He's not Captain Kirk here, he's quiet, desperate, and terrified. The dialogue is sparse, but every line cuts deep. When he tells his son not to be like him, you believe the history of failure written on his face. It's gritty, it's dusty, and the finale is one of the most tense standoffs filmed in the last 20 years. If you missed this because it looked like just another Western, rectify that immediately.
You must be wondering what you've let yourself in for.
You're working for money!
Number 9, The Ghostwriter, 2010. Roman Polanski is a controversial figure, obviously, but strictly looking at the craft of filmmaking, The Ghostwriter is a masterclass in paranoia. Ewan McGregor plays a ghostwriter hired to finish the memoirs of a former British Prime Minister, played by Pierce Brosnan, after the previous writer dies in a mysterious accident. The entire film takes place on a gloomy island off the US coast, mostly inside a concrete, modern bunker of a house that feels more like a prison than a home. This is an old-school Hitchcockian thriller. There are no guns for the first 90% of the movie. The action is just people talking in rooms, noticing discrepancies in manuscripts, and realizing that everyone is lying. The score by Alexander Desplat is doing a lot of the heavy lifting here. It's whimsical but sinister, constantly telling you that something is wrong. And the ending? I won't spoil it, but it features one of the most cynical, memorable final shots in thriller history. In 2025, with political scandals and media manipulation being part of our daily feed, watching a thriller about the buried secrets of world leaders feels unnervingly relevant. It's slick, intelligent, and cold as ice.
I told you to follow me. Stop! No!
Number 8, Green Room, 2015. If the previous entries were slow burns, Green Room is a panic attack. The premise is a nightmare scenario. A broke punk band takes a gig at a neo-Nazi skinhead bar in the backwoods of Oregon just to scrape together gas money. They play their set, they get their cash, but then they accidentally witness a murder in the green room. They lock the door. And on the other side is the club owner, played by none other than Patrick Stewart. Seeing Captain Picard play a calm, pragmatic, terrifying white supremacist leader is something you will never unsee. He doesn't yell. He doesn't monologue. He just politely tells his men to kill these kids. The director, Jeremy Saulnier, is a master of clumsy violence. In most movies, action is choreographed and cool. In Green Room, violence is messy, fast, and horrifying. People hesitate. Guns jam. Plans fail immediately. It features one of the late Anton Yelchin's final performances, and he is heartbreakingly good as a kid who is completely out of his depth. This movie hurts to watch. It's claustrophobic and relentlessly cruel, but it is executed with such precision that you cannot look away.
All your money in the bag.
Do you know what you're doing? Do you know whose money you're jacking?
Number 7, The Drop, 2014. Tom Hardy is known for big voices and big masks, Bane, Venom, Mad Max. But in The Drop, he barely speaks above a whisper. Based on a script by Dennis Lehane, who wrote Mystic River and Shutter Island, this film follows Bob Sajanowski, a lonely bartender who finds a battered puppy in a trash can. That puppy becomes the catalyst for a war between Chechen mobsters, local tough guys, and the police. This was James Gandolfini's final film appearance, and seeing him play a washed-up, bitter ex-heavy is a poignant goodbye to one of our greatest actors. But the movie belongs to Hardy. He plays Bob as a simple, sweet guy who just wants to tend bar and feed his dog. But as the pressure mounts, you start to realize that Bob's silence isn't stupidity. It's discipline. The twist in this movie isn't a plot point, it's a character reveal. It recontextualizes everything you've seen for the last 90 minutes. It's a small, intimate crime drama that feels like it was made in the 70s. It's about the lies we tell ourselves to survive in a violent world. If you like your thrillers character-driven and brooding, this is the one.
They've got 56 cameras. There are 3 blind spots in the entire system, and Sonia Baker went down.
Number 6, State of Play, 2009. Before journalism completely shifted to Twitter and TikTok, there was State of Play. Russell Crowe plays a shaggy, old-school investigative reporter for a Washington newspaper. Ben Affleck is an ambitious congressman and Crowe's old college friend. When the congressman's mistress dies in a suspicious subway accident, Crowe starts pulling at the threads. This film is a love letter to print journalism, the ink, the late nights, the sources in parking garages. But as a thriller, it's rock solid. It captures that specific paranoia of the deep state and corporate military contractors that feels even more plausible today than it did in 2009. The cast is stacked: Rachel McAdams, Helen Mirren, Jason Bateman in a brief but hilarious role as a drugged-out PR consultant. It's smart without being confusing, and it moves at a breakneck pace. It's a reminder of a time when thrillers were made for adults who read the Sunday paper. It asks the question, what is the truth worth when the people with the money control the narrative?
Who are you? What's wrong? You're crazy. I'm crazy!
Number 5, Enemy, 2013. We can't talk about modern thrillers without Denis Villeneuve. You know him for Dune and Sicario, but before those blockbusters, he made Enemy. Jake Gyllenhaal plays a quiet history professor who is watching a movie one night and spots an actor in the background who looks exactly like him. Not similar, identical. He tracks the man down, and their lives begin to intertwine in a way that is surreal and deeply unsettling. This is not a straightforward, evil twin movie. It's a psychological puzzle. The atmosphere is thick with dread, the yellow color grading makes the city look sick and jaundiced. Gyllenhaal is fantastic in the dual role, playing 2 men who are physically identical but have completely different souls. The movie operates on dream logic. It's full of imagery that doesn't make sense until you sit down and think about it for days afterward. And the ending? The final shot of this movie is legendary. It is arguably the biggest jump scare in a movie that isn't a horror film. If you want a thriller that will leave you staring at the credits with your mouth open, put this on.
Just keep your head down.
Turn around! He's alright, we didn't do it. Whoa! Get back here!
Number 4, Good Time, 2017. Before they gave us uncut gems, the Safdie brothers made Good Time. And if you thought Adam Sandler had a bad night, wait until you see Robert Pattinson's night. Pattinson plays Connie, a small-time hustler who robs a bank with his mentally disabled brother. When the brother gets arrested, Connie spends one desperate, hallucinogenic night trying to get the bail money to break him out. This movie is pure anxiety. It moves so fast you barely have time to breathe. Connie is a force of nature, he's manipulative, smart, and toxic. He destroys everything he touches, using people and discarding them, all in the name of saving his brother. It completely reinvented Robert Pattinson's image. He disappears into this role. The cinematography is gritty, shot on the streets of New York with real people, giving it a documentary feel. It's a thriller about the desperation of the underclass, about how far someone will go when they have absolutely no options left. It's neon-soaked, loud, and absolutely electric.
And he dedicated it to me.
Did you love him?
I did something horrible to him.
Number 3, Nocturnal Animals, 2016. Tom Ford is a fashion designer, so you expect his movies to be pretty. And Nocturnal Animals is gorgeous. But it is also one of the cruelest, coldest thrillers of the last decade. Amy Adams plays a wealthy art gallery owner who receives a manuscript from her ex-husband, played by Jake Gyllenhaal. As she reads the book, we see the story within the story play out, a violent, terrifying tale of a family run off the road in West Texas. The film cuts back and forth between Amy Adams' cold, lonely, luxurious life and the hot, dusty, bloody fiction she's reading. It becomes a story about revenge, not physical revenge, but emotional revenge. The book is a weapon sent to hurt her. Aaron Taylor Johnson won a Golden Globe for his role as the villain in the fictional story, and he is genuinely repulsive. The highway scene alone is a masterclass in building tension, the helplessness of a father unable to protect his family. This film is stylish, yes, but it uses that style to hide a rotten core. It's about how we rewrite our own histories to live with our guilt.
Move! It will never end.
Number 2, Shot Caller, 2017. You probably know Nikolai Coster-Waldau as Jaime Lannister. In Shot Caller, he completely sheds that persona. He plays a successful stockbroker who makes one mistake. He runs a red light while distracted, causes a fatal accident, and gets sent to prison. To survive inside, he has to join a white supremacist gang. Most prison movies are about escaping. This movie is about becoming. It shows the slow, methodical transformation of a normal, white-collar man into a ruthless gangster because the system gives him no other choice. The film jumps between his time in prison and his release, where he is forced to orchestrate a major crime to protect the family he left behind. It's tragic because you see that the good guy he used to be is dead. He killed that version of himself to survive. It's brutal, authentic, and terrifyingly plausible. It argues that prison doesn't rehabilitate, it acts as a finishing school for criminals. A criminally underseen movie that hits like a sledgehammer.
Zodiac was my job. It's not yours. He's still out there, Dave.
Number 1, Zodiac, 2007. Okay, maybe you know Zodiac, but have you actually sat down and watched it recently? Because in 2025, this stands as the absolute gold standard of the procedural thriller. David Fincher's masterpiece isn't about catching the killer. We know they don't catch the Zodiac. It's about the obsession of not catching him. It follows a cartoonist, Jake Gyllenhaal, a reporter, Robert Downey Jr., and a cop, Mark Ruffalo, as they ruin their lives chasing a ghost over 2 decades. The basement scene alone is a perfect example of how to create terror with nothing but a creaky floorboard and a suspicious look. There is no music, no jump scare, just the realization that you might be in a room with a monster. Fincher's attention to detail is obsessive. Every period costume, every prop, every line of dialogue is fact-checked. It creates a world that feels completely immersive. It's a long movie, sure, but it needs to be. It drags you into the exhaustion of the investigation. It's the ultimate thriller about the need for answers in a world that refuses to give them. If you want to see 3 of the best actors of their generation at the top of their game, directed by a perfectionist, Zodiac is the movie. The best thrillers aren't just about the mystery, they're about the toll the mystery takes on the people solving it. Whether it's the economic desperation of Hell or High Water or the psychological ruin of Zodiac, these films prove that you don't need a massive budget to raise a pulse. So, did I miss your favorite hidden gem? Is there a movie from 2010 that you swear nobody else remembers? Drop it in the comments below, I'm always looking for something new to watch. If you enjoyed this deep dive, do me a favor, click that like button, it helps the channel more than you know, and hit subscribe so you don't miss the next list. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.